Let's try it once again. Welcome to the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM. Good morning, Mike Wofford with you here live from the Sports Center at 97.5 Glory FM, your radio station for North Georgia sports. We got a lot to talk about this morning as we bring you high school, college, and pro sports action every Saturday morning here at 9:05 on 97.5 Glory FM. Online at WGTJRadio.com. We're streaming on the TuneIn Radio app, Simple Radio app, and the Radio Garden app. And on your Amazon Echo, say enable the skill of 97.5 Glory FM. You can watch us online, see what happens behind the scenes here. Live radio at its very best on YouTube at Team Glory Sports as we bring you the latest in high school baseball action. We'll talk college basketball with the NCAA men's basketball tournament. We're going to talk a little bit about racing and a car show taking place this morning at the Racing Hall of Fame in Dawsonville. We're going to talk college baseballs. We'll bring you our first baseball game of the season from Georgia State this afternoon at 2 p.m. as Georgia Southern takes on Georgia State only here on 97.5 Glory FM. And we'll bring you all the details of what's happening on the local scene here on your radio station for North Georgia Sports, 97.5 Glory FM. We'll kick things off coming up next here on the Saturday Morning Sports Show.
Systems is here for you. Our plumbers deliver the highest quality service in North Georgia 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. We've been North Georgia's source for elite residential and commercial services since 1983. Our licensed plumbers offer services for installation and repairs of pipes, water heaters, septic lines, and sump pumps. Choose conditioned air systems for quality service and unmatched knowledge for your plumbing needs.
Injuries are never planned and often happen after hours or over the weekend. That's why NGPG Orthopedic and Sports Medicine offers the Black and Blue Walk-In Clinic for injured athletes every Monday morning in their offices in Gainesville, Brazelton, Buford, Bushton, and Jefferson. No need to call. Just walk right in between 8:30 and 11:30 on Monday mornings. And one of their sports medicine and orthopedic doctors will be there to help identify, treat, and care for your injury. To learn more, you may visit ngpg.org/black and blue.
And back in the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM. Mike Wofford here in the Sports Center. I was trying to get in touch with our first guest, but he is not available this morning. My plan was to talk to Trevor Flo, the head baseball coach at North Hall, who had an historic win back on Thursday as the Trojans swept by Lumpkin County this week in a 3-game series. And back on Thursday in Dahlonega, Coach Flo recorded his 200th career victory last night, winning 2-1 here on 97.5 Glory FM as we were there to bring you the game between Lumpkin County and North Hall, with the Trojans winning that one 3-0 as Branson Crawford threw a 3-hit shutout against the Indians yesterday, and the Trojans scoring all 3 runs in the 5th inning of play last night to win the ball game. They're in first place by themselves by a game over Pickens in the Region 6 AAA standings. North Hall now at 10-2 with 3 weeks left in the regular season schedule. Still 9 games left on the region schedule. They'll play 3 games each week for the next 3 weeks. Next week, North Hall will take on Johnson, followed by Dawson County, and then wrapping things up with Chestatee in region play. Now, right behind them is a team they've already beaten 2 or 3 times this year, and that is Pickens, which is now in second place. Then in third place with a tie is Greater Atlanta Christian and Dawson County. Last night, the Tigers salvaged one of the 3 games against the Spartans, winning last night's ball game, while Pickens completed a 3-game sweep of Johnson. And also a big win for Chestatee last night, as Griffin Olson's War Eagles of Chestatee, they defeat the Warriors of White County last night. And so they salvaged one of the 3 games against White County. So right now, here are the standings in Region 6 AAA going into the final 3 weeks of the season. Getting ready for the month of April. That'll be the next time the teams play will be the first day of April coming up on Tuesday. Is North Hall in first place. They're at 10-2. Then a game back is Pickens. 2 games back of North Hall now. In third place, tied for third, is both Dawson County and Greater Atlanta Christian, and GAC holds the tiebreaker over the Tigers right now. Then in 5th place is Chestatee. With that win over the team from White County, they're in at 5-7 right now. At 4-8, you have Lumpkin County and White County for 6th and 7th spot, and then Johnson's winless. They're in the final spot there of Region 6 AAA. Again, last night, North Hall defeats Lumpkin County. Pickens over Johnson. It was White County falling to Chestatee, and Dawson County gets a win over GAC from last night. Now, in Region 8 AAA play, it was doubleheader night for teams there, and it was a big win for Cherokee Bluff. They go on the road to Jefferson and they sweep by the Dragons. They complete the 3-game sweep. They're undefeated in their region. They're at 9-0 right now with 2 weeks left on the regular season schedule for them. And for Cherokee Bluff, they'll take on Oconee County next week in a 3-game series, followed by West Hall to wrap up the regular season in 2 weeks. They wrap up their regular season in Region play a week earlier than the teams in Region 8 AAA because there's 6 teams in Region 8 compared to 8 teams in Region 6 in AAA play. And right now, it's becoming very close to them clinching not only home field advantage, but if they can win 2 or 3 games against Oconee County next week, they can end up clinching the number 1 spot in the upcoming state playoffs out of Region 8 AAA. And of course, we'll bring you all the details right here on 97.5 Glory FM. Of the games yesterday, it was Oconee County sweeping by West Hall. So Oconee County is in second place right now behind Cherokee Bluff. In second place, Jefferson is in the number 3 spot. And then you have West Hall, Monroe area, and East Hall rounding out the Region 8 AAA standings, with Monroe area sweeping by East Hall yesterday. And the Vikings are still winless in Region 8 AAA action, while Monroe area losing 2 or 3 against West Hall. They're in 5th place right now. And the top 4 teams, of course, right now looking ahead to the state playoffs coming up in April. I'll tell you more about the state playoffs a little bit later on. Turning to Region 8 Quad A play, doubleheader day also yesterday for the teams there. And it was Flyer Branch winning 2 straight games against Eastside. They're in second place right now in that region behind North Oconee, as it was North Oconee sweeping by East Forsyth yesterday. And coming up next Tuesday here on 97.5 Glory FM, we'll bring you the game between North Oconee and Flyer Branch. That'll be for first place in that region. They'll play a three-game series. Game 1 will be played on Tuesday there at Hog Mountain Sports Complex. Then they'll play a doubleheader in Bogart at North Oconee coming up on Friday. And right now, the Branch needs to win 2 or 3 against North Oconee to take over first place in that region with a couple weeks left in the regular season schedule. So very important ball games coming up not only next week, but the next couple of weeks for local teams, especially there in Region 8 Quad A's. You have North Oconee number 1, Flyer Branch is number 2. And then you have East Forsyth fighting for a playoff berth also with the top 4 teams there in Region 8 Quad A. In Region 8 Quinte play, it was Beaufort falling to Mill Creek, as it was the Hawks there winning 1 of the 3 games against Beaufort, which had won the first 2 games. But now it is Beaufort tied for the top spot in Region 8 Quinte, even though they hold the tiebreaker over Mill Creek. And that's going to be the big thing there, how the tiebreaker might work out at the end of the season. In 7 Quinte play, a big one for Gainesville. They completed a 3-game sweep of 5th-ranked Seconder, the Jaguars out of the Mulberry area of northeast Gwinnett County. They lost 3 straight games again, which was very surprising. What really stood out for Coach Chan Brown's team, their pitching. They had complete games all week long. And I go back to our friend Cohen Miller. I've known him since he was a boy, a young boy, in fact, that standpoint, is that he pitched the best ball game of his career, pitching a 7-inning shutout against Seconder back on Wednesday. And then yesterday they had another complete game down at Seconder. And so a big win for Coach Chan Brown's team, which right now is in 4th place. Seconder is in 3rd place in that region, which is a very powerful baseball region there in 7 Quinte. Other games around the area in Region 6 6A play, it was Forsyth Central defeating North Forsyth again in 8 6A play. You had the Beaufort team falling to the Mill Creek team yesterday. And in Region 8A play, it was Banks County winning 2 big games over Athens Academy. The Leopards have won 11 straight games. They're 12-0 in Region 8A Division 1. And right behind them, Rabun County, they won 2 games against Barrow Arts and Sciences yesterday in local high school baseball. College baseball last night, you'll hear from Dave Cohen later on this morning. It was Georgia State falling to Georgia Southern as they had a big win last night, winning 20-0 in 7 innings over the Panthers of Georgia State. And in Major League Baseball, the Atlanta Braves are looking for their first win of the season as Ronaldo Lopez had some trouble. Really, the bullpen had more troubles than Ronaldo last night as the Braves fall by a score of 4-3. Another late inning loss for Atlanta. They're 0-2 to start the season. Harper LeBel's favorite team, the Los Angeles Dodgers, they're 4-0. Maybe talk a little baseball with Harper next half hour, along with football from the NFL right here on 97.5 Glory FM. Coming up next, we're going to talk college basketball, though, with my expert Chuck Graham, former basketball player that went to the NCAA basketball tournament. He's also the current head boys basketball coach at West Hall. He'll join me to talk about the big dance, and more coming up next here on the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM, online at WGTJRadio.com with a live video stream on YouTube at Team Glory Sports.
It's springtime, but it's also allergy time. The pollen is so bad you can't stand it. Your eyes are scratchy, your nose is stuffy, and you can hardly breathe. Well, the pharmacists at Riverside Pharmacy can help with all of your allergy needs. They can fill your prescription with expert care and even deliver it to you in the Gainesville area. That's Riverside Pharmacy, across the street from City Park, serving Gainesville for over 60 years.
Choosing King Green, a locally owned and operated lawn care company, offers numerous advantages and benefits. Hi, I'm Jennifer with King Green. With a focus on serving the local community, King Green provides personalized attention and tailored solutions to meet your unique needs of your lawn and landscape. Accountability and trustworthiness is what you'll get with King Green's dedicated service. Visit us online at kinggreen.com for a greener, healthier, and more beautiful lawn.
97.5 Glory FM, your home team for North Georgia sports. Let's go dancing now. Let's talk NCAA basketball with my friend Chuck Graham, the boys basketball coach at West Hall. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, how's it going, Mike? How are you?
I'm great, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. What a great time of the year it is now for
so,
basketball and baseball fans.
Yeah, let's go baseball with you and me right now. Let's talk about what's going on with the dance. How about what happened at State Farm Arena last night?
Well, man, 2 outstanding games last night. You talk about high-level basketball. I really love how Ole Miss and the Michigan State game kind of ended. I mean, that was kind of old-school traditional basketball. Both teams showed a tremendous amount of grit, and it's one of those games where you hate to see a team lose. But, for a 6 seed, I thought Ole Miss played well beyond, their seeding. And I think in playing in the SEC, I think this year kind of helped them. But Tom Izzo is one of the best in the game at creating a culture. And you've seen it last night at the end of that basketball game.
So Michigan State, they advanced, right?
Yes, sir. In Michigan Sate, they advanced. They will play Auburn tomorrow.
Well, would it have been something to see Ole Miss play Auburn?
Oh, man, it would have been awesome, especially at State Farm, State Farm Arena. That would have been great.
Yep. I saw a couple of days ago, I heard it on one of my ex posts that it was let me get my math right here, Chuck, 46th anniversary of the championship for Michigan State when Magic Johnson defeated Larry Bird in Indiana State.
Yeah, but that was the actual, I think, the beginning of what we know today as college basketball, playing it in big arenas. If you remember, that game was actually played on the campus. It was played at the University of New Mexico. It was in Albuquerque.
That's right.
And since then, we're playing in big arenas. But that was the genesis of what we know today as the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, well, you go back to the point. I remember when the Omni held the championship back in '77 when Al McGuire, won it for Marquette from that standpoint. And that's why I was surprised when I heard about the Sweet 16 and the quarterfinal round being held at State Farm. Is okay. That Atlanta's getting close to having another championship.
I know, man, which would be awesome. I think in 2013, when Louisville defeated Michigan, I think that was the last time we held it. Man, I actually attended that game. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Oh, I bet it was the experience there. So Auburn advances on against Michigan State with the winner to go to the Final Four coming up this week. And here we are going from the Sweet 16 round back on Thursday and then last night all the way to the Final Four this weekend. How about the other games?
Yeah, well, yesterday the second game that was in Atlanta, Michigan and Auburn, was a back-and-forth battle. Michigan played hard. But, again, I think the depth of Auburn, I mean, they have so many guys that they can throw at you, which is really, goes against conventional wisdom. Coaches tend to shorten their bench during this time of year in tournament time. But I think it's an actual strength for Auburn because they play so many guys and they're fresh. And they continue to play at a high level, and the standard never changes. So that's going to be an awesome game. Michigan State, Auburn tomorrow at 5 o'clock at State Farm that's going to be a great game.
All right, so you got 3 of the regions to talk about. How about them?
Well, you got the game I'm excited about today is Texas Tech at Florida. Again, Florida coming from the SEC had a gauntlet of a schedule. Their depth and their guard play has been outstanding. And as much as it pains me to say it, I think the Florida Gators will end up in the Final Four over Texas Tech.
But has that been a surprise, though?
Well, Texas Tech is a 3 seed, and, we talk about upsets. But I think what we have in these quarterfinals, this Elite Eight, is all top-seeded teams, which is awesome. I think Texas Tech is the lowest seed at a 3.
Yep.
So, I mean, you're getting pretty much the best of the best. Now, the game of the weekend, I think, will be the Alabama-Duke game. Both of these teams scored over 100 points their last game.
Mm-hmm.
Scored over their last game. So,
didn't Alabama put a number on BYU?
Yes, they did. They won 113. 113. So, I mean, you're talking about BYU I think they had the perfect game plan, and it sounds crazy, but Alabama hadn't been shooting the ball from 3 that well. They were scoring a lot of points in the paint. So, I think the BYU coaching staff decided to go under on a lot of the ball screens from Alabama, but, Alabama got hot, and, it got contagious, and they ended up making a record, I think, for a tournament, 25 threes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's hard to beat a team that makes 25 threes.
Yeah, really, Chuck. Wow.
Yeah.
How about the Dukies?
The Duke, another solid performance, man. I think what's helped Duke, because it was all Cooper Fagg in the beginning of the year, and when he went out in the ACC tournament and they still were able to win that tournament, I think it actually gave them a boost in confidence, and that we're a complete team now. And just looking at it, I think Florida and Duke, in terms of just being complete and not showing any weaknesses, I think they're the 2 best teams left in the tournament. Now, you can't short side this game. This is going to be a old school Rick Barnes against Kevin Sampson, Tennessee and Houston, a number 1 against a number 2 seed. It's just depending on who makes shots in that game. I think both of these teams are equally matched. And again, Mike, I can make an argument for it. Every team that's left in this Elite Eight can end up cutting down the net. And, as a basketball fan, that's what you want.
Well, the reason I mentioned Texas Tech, think about the battle that Houston had with Tech this year in the Big 12.
Yes. I mean, Texas Tech, if I'm not mistaken, well, I actually watched that game. They beat Houston at Houston, which ended a long winning streak. So, in order to do that, I mean, you got to have a pretty balanced team and some grit to you to actually go into Houston and win a basketball game.
That was one of the regional tournament, right?
Oh yeah. So, again, like I said, you can make a argument for every team left to cut down the nets.
All right, so how surprised you that there's many SEC teams that are left? I'm so surprised we have 14 teams going into the tournament. There's still that many left.
It's a testament to the league. I mean, you have Auburn who's left, and Alabama and Florida. So you have 3 teams out of the Elite Eight that's left in the tournament. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. Outside of, I'm an ACC guy again, but outside of Duke, the long team left from the ACC, I mean, the really for odds of a SEC team cutting down the net, it could very well happen.
Well, you got a Big Ten team still left with Michigan State. Nobody from the Big East, which surprises me.
Yes. St. John's was my dark horse to win the tournament, and just like anything else in the tournament, if you don't shoot the ball well, it's so hard. It's so hard. And the game just boils down to quality of shot selection, but at the end of the day, it's make or miss.
All right, so you tell me, is your bracket busted, buddy?
Well, my bracket was busted the first Thursday at about 12 o'clock. I was as soon as the game started, I realized I was done. So about 2 o'clock Eastern time, it was over.
We're talking with Chuck Graham, the head boys basketball coach at West Hall. He's my NCAA tournament expert because he's played in the dancing floor back when he played for Florida State back in the day. Hey, before I let you go, buddy, I want you to talk to our listeners just for a moment. Introduce everybody to your new cohort down at West Hall, Robbie Bailey, taking over the girls program.
Yeah, man, you know what? I am super excited to work with Robbie Bailey. We're fortunate here in Sparta to have not just a good basketball coach, but a good man, to lead our girls program and to actually, to just to be around all our students all day. But, I had the opportunity to coach against Robbie a couple times when I was at Gainesville, and he stepped away from coaching for a while. He got the itch to come back, man. So I'm really, super excited. Get to bounce a lot of things off him. So, but yeah, I'm super excited to get to work with him, and I think that we're really fortunate to have a guy of his caliber, here leading our girls program.
Now, you in the off-season stuff right now, buddy?
Yes, sir. We're in the conditioning, doing 4-on-1. Track going on. We got guys playing baseball. But like I said, it's a fun time of the year to get these guys back in the gym, man. Just looking forward to it.
Man, I appreciate you letting me know about what's going on with the big dance. It's going to be a lot of fun here the next week.
Mike, let's talk next week, buddy.
I'll be glad to, man. Just put it on your calendar. I'll call you next week, friend, okay?
I got you. I appreciate you, man.
All right, brother. Thank you, man. Be blessed, brother. That is Chuck Graham, the head boys basketball coach at West Hall, talking about the NCAA basketball tournament. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Cindy Elliot. He's over in Dawson County getting ready for the car show to benefit the Dawson County Humane Society. That comes up next here on the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM.
Here I am on the road again, ready to pick up the kids from school, go by the grocery store, and do all the things a busy mother does. It's because I just left North Hall Tire and Wheel, where they made sure I was ready to go. They put on a fresh set of tires, checked the brakes, and even the battery. I know I can trust Mike and Matt and the guys at North Hall Tire and Wheel. They have everything you need, all the name brand tires at the best prices, and the service you need. They're on Cleveland Highway in Gainesville, so give them a call at 770-297-5308.
This is Representative Lee Hawkins, your representative to the state legislature. I want to wish all the local athletes in our area the very best this season. Your team is very important to the success of our community, and I look forward to seeing you play this year and to see what you accomplish in the classrooms and in the community. I also look forward to serving you and your family in the state legislature. This message paid for by the committee to re-elect Lee Hawkins.
And we're back on the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM. We're going to go over to Dawsonville and talk to a familiar name with the name of Elliot. We're going to talk with Cindy Elliot, part of a big car show taking place today at the Racing Hall of Fame. Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're blessed. How are you?
We are very blessed to be here on this beautiful day, and we have we're getting a really good turnout of cars so far, probably 85 cars here.
Oh, wow.
And all of the proceeds are going to the Humane Society.
All right, let's talk about that for a moment. County. Our radio station is a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm really glad that the Humane Society is going to get some money today. First off, tell me about the cars. You said there's between 80 to 85 cars. It said the Racing Hall of Fame just off of Georgia Highway 400 there on Georgia Highway 53. You cannot miss it. Tell me what kind of cars we're seeing today.
What kind of cars are we seeing today?
Yes, uh-huh.
Oh, my gosh.
We've got Model T. We've got Bel Airs out there. We've got all kinds of really cool cars. We also have a lot of first responder vehicles.
SWAT team.
Oh, super.
Fire trucks.
K-9 unit.
Jump house.
So this is an all-day event, right?
Not really. They usually car people like to head out around 2 o'clock usually.
Okay, that's long enough from that standpoint. And they get,
yeah, it's a long day for them because some of them have been here since 6:30 this morning.
Oh wow, how about that? So we look at some vintage cars, right?
Vintage cars, yes.
All right, so
and there's Porsches here.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there's all kinds of imports. Yeah, trucks, lots of different style cars.
Is there by chance a race car over there?
There is a Chase Elliott race car out front, yes.
So tell me about that, please. Let everybody know about your background and what the Elliots do over in Dawson County. And I'm sure if anybody's an NASCAR fan, they're going to know about Chase and Bill and everybody else here from Ernie and Dan. So talk about it for a moment, if you would, please.
I'm sorry, tell me about what?
About your background there, the Elliots, and about the Chase
my
car.
Background.
Yeah.
My personal background?
If you want to, go ahead. You can. Be involved in this.
Was a photo editor is kind of how I started out. My degree was in photojournalism, and I ended up, started out working for newspapers, and then I went to work for Winston Cup Scene, which was a NASCAR publication, and kind of got involved in NASCAR.
Tell me, Chase is up at Martinsville this weekend, right?
Chase is a what?
He's in Martinsville this weekend, right? Racing?
Yes, he is. Yes.
All right. So tell me about his car. People who don't know about his car, can you describe it for us?
Well, the sponsorship changes occasionally, but his primary sponsor is Napa, and I'm probably not the best one to talk to about
this. For the people who don't know racing, is it a Chevy? Is it a Ford? Is it a Toyota?
It's a Chevy. Yes, it's a Chevy.
Yep. And
Yep, definitely a Chevy.
And his number is?
Number 9.
Yes, part of the Elliot lineage from that standpoint. So
yes,
we're looking at this is raising a lot of money for the Humane Society, right?
Well, we're hoping to raise a lot of money for the Humane Society. Right now they have a $10,000 match. So every dollar that anybody donates is going to be doubled.
That is great. And you say you got some representatives from the Humane Society to join us here to talk about it?
They are right here. So if you have some questions for them, they'd be happy to answer.
Sure. Hey there, this is Mike Wofford here at 97.5 Glory FM. Who we're talking with?
My name is Jacinda. I'm the Director of Operations at the Dawson County Humane Society.
Hey, great to talk with you. We're a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Glad to talk with you and what you're doing there. Tell everybody, first of all, where's the Humane Society located in Dawson County now?
So it's off of Highway 9, right next to Rock Creek Park. You just go on that little dirt road right behind Rock Creek Park, and we are right there off the left.
All right, so how big a place do you have now?
So it's still pretty small. It's the original building that was built in '08, and so we're looking to expand. Our facility has been at max capacity for over 2 years now. As everybody knows, Dawson County is the fastest growing county in the U.S. as of current standards, and so we have been at full capacity for 2.5 years. We're looking to expand, and that's why we're really needing to raise these funds. Our building right now fits about 300 animals, a little over 100 dogs, and the rough estimate of like 250 cats.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Wow. That is, how big a staff do you have?
About 20 on a regular basis. Some of them are part-time, and then some of them are full-time.
All right, so tell me about the match today, because we're trying to get as much money as possible to help you out today.
Absolutely. So we had a private donor that was affiliated with our organization that actually came forward and said that he wanted to start the match at a $5,000 match, and so he came up privately, and then privately that $5,000 was matched. We were absolutely ecstatic, and so we decided to raise the stakes and went to $10,000, and so that's what we're looking for today. Every dollar is going to be doubled, no matter what you can give. We just are so grateful for this opportunity. We're grateful for our team. We're grateful for Dawson County and our community. Even if it's $1, that's going to turn into $2. So we just want to thank everybody in advance.
All right. So if somebody can't make it out to the car show day, what's the best way to donate money to the Humane Society?
If they can't come out today, then they can come to our website. You can go on our website, and there's a donation button. You can donate through there. They can also write a check and send it in to 633 Martin Road in Dawsonville. There's multiple ways. You can even pay adoption fees for animals, and that's considered a donation as well. We need donations of food, toys, and treats. So any way that you want to give, we'll be grateful.
All right. So food.
They can also go to the Georgia Racing Hall of Fame website, and there's a donation button on there, so that, we know that it was all affiliated with this event.
Super.
And this is a no-kill shelter. So we want to get that message out to a lot of people, that a lot of these pets some of them are older, and, they could live out their lives there, essentially. Wow. We want to try to get them adopted. We have a lot of really cute puppies here. Oh, my goodness, they are adorable. We do have some beautiful cars, but we have some beautiful dogs here. So we need to get them all adopted today if we can, and get that word out there and get people to help donate.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's work here in the future. Maybe you can send us some pictures and that kind of thing. We can put on our website or something, and then direct you to the website there of Dawson County Humane Society, so we can do to get some dogs and cats adopted.
That'd be awesome.
That would be wonderful.
I'd love to tell you something special about the Dawson County Humane Society. My name is Madison. I'm with Dawson County Animal Control. And we are one of the only no-kill counties around here because we as animal control are able to bring all of the animals that we pick up, every stray, every homeless animal that we pick up goes to the Dawson County Humane Society. And we know once they get into their doors, they're safe. They're going to be loved and well taken care of. And we know that we can feel good about bringing them to the no-kill shelter. So every dollar obviously is doubled today, and that helps us remain a no-kill county, which is something really special about the Dawsonville area.
Oh, that is, of course, that is a great thing. And we talk about Dawson County look like a Scotty dog, with the map the way it is also. I like that from that standpoint. So tell me about who made the decision to make it a no-kill shelter. That's really something important.
So to become a no-kill shelter, you have to keep a 90% live rate. And so that means that our team had to decide that no matter the cost, the only way that we would euthanize is if their lives were already at stake. And so we actually went no-kill in 2012. We did all of the things that we were required of our facility to be able to get that status, and every year we're checked to remain a no-kill. So we work actively to be able to get as many animals in, but to get them in, we have to get them out to remain no-kill because we have to continue to create space for more. And so it's really important work that we do, and very tiring but very rewarding.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why adoption events like today are so important to help get more animals out so we can save more that need our help.
Is there a building plan we got now that this money will help toward in the future?
Yes, there's our building plans. They're actually here under a tent today. We have all of the expansion plans set out so people can come and see our vision and kind of see what we're looking at. We're really excited about that and hoping to break ground within the next year.
I got a feeling we're going to get a lot more than 10,000 a day. That is great that we already reached the 5,000 point. Now looking at the 10,000. And people go out this afternoon to the Racing Hall of Fame, again, just off of Georgia Highway 400. They're off of Georgia Highway 53 there. Get a chance to go by and see Chase's car. That's got to be an awesome thing right there, and all the other vintage cars there at the Racing Hall of Fame. And when you go out there, tell them you heard about it right here on 97.5 Glory FM, your radio station there in Dawson County. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I hope it's going to be a great day for you.
Thank you. And I also wanted to just say that we have a lot of vendors out here, too. So,
oh, great.
Lots of different food and just different vendors in the back. So make sure that if they come by, they get to the back of the building and in between Main Street Park and us and go through the vendors.
All right. It'll be a great day. Just enjoy yourselves and see a lot of great cars, see some animals there, and maybe take home an animal or two and help out with the money for the Humane Society. Again, thank you so much, y'all.
That would be wonderful.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. All right, you'll be blessed.
Thank you.
We got much more for you coming up next here on 97.5 Glory FM. Thanks there for joining us this morning here from the Racing Hall of Fame there in Dawson County. We've got much more for you coming up next. You're tuned to the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM.
Your home is part of you, and keeping it comfortable and well-maintained is essential. Conditioned Air Systems is North Georgia's solution for residential heating, air, and plumbing services. For more than 40 years, our family has been committed to delivering the highest quality service by our certified technicians and plumbers. Experience the difference today when you choose Conditioned Air Systems for your home's heating, air, and plumbing needs. Quality you can feel, service you can trust. Visit conditionedairsystems.com to schedule an appointment.
Injuries are never planned and often happen after hours or over the weekend. That's why NGPG Orthopedic and Sports Medicine offers the Black and Blue Walk-In Clinic for injured athletes every Monday morning in their offices in Gainesville, Brazelton, Buford, Houston, and Jefferson. No need to call. Just walk right in between 8:30 and 11:30 on Monday mornings. And one of their sports medicine and orthopedic doctors will be there to help identify, treat, and care for your injury. To learn more, you may visit ngpg.org/blackandblue.
And back on the Saturday Morning Sports Show, thanks to the ladies joining us today there from the Racing Hall of Fame in Dawson County with that big event to help out the Dawson County Chamber of Commerce. Just imagine going by and seeing a racing car there on the NASCAR circuit from Chase Elliot, that number 9 Chevrolet that he has. And of course, he would say that number 9 Napa Chevrolet, and the great history of the Elliott family there, from his dad, Bill, to his uncle there, Ernie, who would build the engines, to Uncle Dan and the whole family there, and the great lineage there over in Dawson County. We're glad to be a part of the community there. Now let's talk to a little pro sports action on another scene here with Harper LeBel. We'll try a little different way of communicating with Harper there. Are you there, Harper? I was going to try this again. Harper, are you there, my friend? And he's connected, and he cannot hear me, Nathan. So, and I cannot hear him. We tested this before this morning with our Hooked on Lanier program. So this is not going to work, it looks like, from that standpoint, because Harper cannot hear me. So we'll get back on the phone then. We take another quick break here, and we'll get Harper on the phone then, and we'll go from there here on the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM.
It's springtime, but it's also allergy time. The pollen is so bad you can't stand it. Your eyes are scratchy, your nose is stuffy, and you can hardly breathe. Well, the pharmacists at Riverside Pharmacy can help with all of your allergy needs. They can fill your prescription with expert care and even deliver it to you in the Gainesville area. That's Riverside Pharmacy, across the street from City Park, serving Gainesville for over 60 years.
Protecting your family and outdoor space from mosquito problems is our priority. Hi, I'm Jennifer with King Green. Our comprehensive prevention services not only enhance your outdoor enjoyment, but also safeguard your loved ones from potential health risks, adding immeasurable value to your home and lifestyle. Visit us online at kinggreen.com for $25 off your first mosquito application. For a healthy, happy outdoor living space, visit kinggreen.com.
All right, Plan B here with 97.5 Glory FM. We got Harper on the phone here this morning. We're going to try this thing again. We're going to get you a different way of reaching me here. Communicating going to sound so good, Harper, but I hope you enjoyed the interview. You learned hopefully a lot this morning on the show. Let's talk you down to pro sports action this morning.
Well, there's a lot going on. You called me a Plan B. I used to be a Plan B free agent. They used to have that in the NFL. So you brought up
I called the way of communicating you Plan B. Never a Plan B, my friend.
Well, it wasn't a slur in any way, shape, or form. But I've also been called a lot worse. Now I was a scab at one point.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yes. So at least you didn't call me that.
Yes, exactly. Back in the day, I'm sure you got called that a bunch back in the day. But man, I call you my expert here from that standpoint. You know, we're counting down to the NFL draft, but free agency is really interesting, isn't it?
Well, once Aaron Rodgers makes up his mind, I think you can put the lid on it and just let it simmer for a while, and everything will be focused around next month's draft. But the Falcons, this time a week ago, Mike, they were $15 million under the cap. They'd spent more than they should. Now they're $11 million. They've got some room to spend, and $8.5 of that for the Falcons will be just to the draft. You've got to donate that much into that fund in order to be able to make the draft picks work. And I think I looked at the Steelers because that's where Aaron Rodgers seems to be most likely going to end up, and they only have to spend about $7.8 million. The way that the finances work, Mike, it depends obviously on the number of picks that you have, and the Falcons don't have as many, but they're picking higher in the first round, so that means it's going to be more costly for them to get their first rounder signed than what Pittsburgh would. I think they're picking 21st, the Steelers are. So different amounts for every team. The odds, oddly enough, if you don't mind me saying so, Mike, I'm giving you a lot here, but the Tennessee Titans, who picked number 1 overall last week at this time, the thought of them picking Cam Ward was the money was negative $350. So if you put $100, you'd have to put $350 down to win $100. Now it's 1,000 to 1 that they'll pick Cam Ward. It looks like something happened within the organization, and they're going to end up taking the quarterback out of Miami.
Wow! Did you expect that?
No, I thought Abdul Carter or maybe some other specific need, but obviously in free agency and just the way that things have rolled out, they've got to get one. Everyone needs a quarterback, and they might have wanted to trade down. That's still a possibility for them, but that's just the way it's been the last 4, 5, 6 years, and obviously a lot longer than that. But I'm just saying that the number 1 pick going to a quarterback is certainly your high priority, and I just don't think that's who they wanted. So I'm kind of hesitating with my answer a little bit.
Sure.
But they're going to have to take whatever is given to them.
Well, okay, Harper, as a layman here, it seems like the life of a quarterback, even the number one quarterbacks, keeps shrinking. There's just, I don't know if there are hits and misses, or we're just not seeing the longevity of these quarterbacks like we used to see. Now, of course, there are some exceptions like Matthew Stafford, that kind of thing, but it's rare, isn't it?
Well, you had a Brady that was in there 20-plus years. Now you've got Aaron Rodgers. You mentioned Stafford. The Falcons decided a little more than a week ago to keep Kirk Cousins, so there'll be a few that are in their 30s. Jameis Winston just re-signed with the Giants, as did Russell Wilson. So it just depends on who you are, Mike. I mean, how good you can play into your late 20s and early 30s. And if you're like Jameis Winston, are you good enough to just be able to stick around?
Uh-huh.
He's not going to be the starter there, but he gets to play. But it's few and far between, absolutely, Mike. And that's why there's always this need. Everybody's looking for a guy that can play in case the starter gets hurt. And do you want to go with a rookie or a second-year guy? Will Levis is a guy in that example, or Richardson there in Indianapolis, or do you want to go with an older guy that might be around and be able to stick it out for you? It's a very debatable question.
Well, how about this? You say there's no right or wrong answer. Well, what about Russell Wilson? It's like, okay, why has his stock dropped the way it has?
Well, in my personal opinion, because he didn't have the same offensive line that he did in Seattle during his first couple of years. Once he started getting paid, they didn't have the same money to give to some of the other guys. Remember, the Legion of Boom was absolutely amazing. They could keep you in any game.
Yep.
And Russell just don't lose it for us was kind of the philosophy. and there was more to it, of course, but what an exciting finish that he had in so many different ball games.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you take that offensive line away from him, and he can't scramble like he did when he was in his early 20s. But he can still throw.
Right.
So he's just going from team to team, short-term contracts, a year or two, and that's exactly what he did with the Giants.
All right, so as we talk with Harper LeBel about football for a moment, how about Adam Rodgers? Can Rodgers still play in the NFL?
Well, same situation as with Russell. You put a pretty good offensive line in front of him, and I think the Steelers are okay. They don't have the best offensive line that you've ever seen, but they're good, and they always have been, and their coaching is fantastic when you think about how Tomlin or Cowher or, going back to Chuck Noll, the stability has always been there in the organization. That they want to win, and they prove it year after year.
They've
got some money. They've got about $34 million, but that doesn't include the cap money. I mentioned that a few moments ago. They need about 7.8 to clear for the draft. They can move some things around. T.J. Watt's making about $30 million. They can give some of that in a signing bonus to make more room for Aaron if they want him. And then if you draft Jackson Dart in the first round, and this is just Steeler talk, they definitely communicate very well with one another. Now you've got a quarterback for today, and maybe for another year, possibly two. But then, just like what the Falcons did last year, you bring in a veteran quarterback, you sign a rookie that you really like and hope to be a part of your future for the next 5 to 10 years.
All right, here's your hardball question. Again, no right or wrong answer, buddy. Would you rather have Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers?
Well, it doesn't take me more than a minute to think Aaron Rodgers, but at what cost? That's the thing. How much is it going to cost? Kirk was obviously a very expensive add-on. I would think that Aaron would have wanted more. So,
got you.
There are some guys that don't like Aaron. And remember, he sat on the bench for 3 years in Green Bay.
Yes.
And I think he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because it didn't matter if they were up by 2 points or 200 points. Favre was never going to come out of the game.
Yes.
So Aaron didn't get to play at all. And I think, that one championship that he earns in Green Bay, could he have had 2 or 3 or 5?
Sure.
We'll never. It's an impossible question to answer. It's hypothetical, Mike, because he only got the 1.
Uh-huh.
And now he's chasing that for the rest of his career. So Favre did the same thing. He went to 2.
Yep.
But it's an interesting scenario. That second one where they lose to Denver, and then all of a sudden this dynasty, this great team, is just one player away from being very average. And they proved that for years. They were a playoff caliber team, but they never got back to it. So it's an interesting phenomenon. Brady is the one who kind of broke the mold on that and just said, okay, well, I can keep winning in my 30s, late 30s, even into my 40s.
What is it, though, you mentioned about you reach that caliber, the Falcons go to the Super Bowl, and since that time it's been mediocre at best.
Yeah, well, I think throw a little Braves into this as well, because when you have a young Acuna and a young Albies and then Austin, everybody that was a part of that roster, the pitching staff and all of that, and they were all on these young first-year or first-term contracts.
Yep.
With the exception of Freddie, they all were younger guys, and then, we're going to sign Acuna, and then Falcons kind of in the same situation, young guys. And I remember specifically my son was going, when Devontae Freeman scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, pay that man, because he was at the end of his contract. And I said, be careful what you ask for. And then he wanted more money, and then Julio wanted more money, and then Matthews wanted more money, and Grady wanted more money, and Matt Ryan wanted more money. Next thing you know, we're releasing guys left and right, and we're not making it to the playoffs. So it's a very, very tight bankroll that you have to balance, and keeping all those plates spinning and keeping everybody happy and a good enough team to where you can get back to it. Falcons obviously proved they weren't able to do it.
Put on our level, it's like you've got the football cards and you've got monopoly money and trying to balance it out to have the best team possible. That's what the GMs do, and it's a difficult job, isn't it?
Yeah, and the figure that you've got about the same amount of money that I do, with the exception of that dead cap money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, is because I made some mistakes in the past. Now I have less money to spend than you do, or one of the other 31 teams in the league.
Right.
I mentioned the Steelers earlier. They've only got $3 million in dead cap money. That's second lowest in the league. Seattle has a ton. So does San Francisco. Who was I just looking at? The Saints have $50 million. They're in the middle of the pack.
How about Dallas?
So, yeah, how you have the bean counters and that one capologist is what they call him, a guy that is basically his job is to make sure we know down to the penny how much we have at any one point in time.
Well, I was talking to a young man yesterday at a high school baseball game. He wants to be in sports analytics. I can see that being a very important job in the NFL.
Well, yeah, and then it trickles down into college, and obviously, Mike, at that level in high school, too, there are kids that have visions of sugar plums in their head about, boy, if I'm just able to do this, I can get some money. And you learn to brand your social media. It's just a complete. Now, it used to be they would tease that instead of a lunch pail, the pros would go into work every day with a computer and a briefcase.
Yep.
Because the salary cap changed. Now that has trickled down into where there are some high school kids that are going with that type of attitude. How do I make my brand better? And they're so far from where they need to be in the pros, but they can make 10s or 15s or 20s or hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Hey,
and
you mentioned brand. Did you hear last Saturday I was talking to Josh Nibble, the head football coach at Gainesville. He said, I was out in Boulder. I was talking to Dion. To me, he's the first guy to ever brand himself. When it was prime time, that's where it all started in my mind.
Yeah, I would argue with that. Sure.
With just branding himself,
Right. Well, the name, right? It was Neon Dion. No, it wasn't. No, that was in college. And when he gets to Atlanta, he changed it to Prime Time, and now he's Coach Prime.
Yep.
He just got a contract extension too. I think he's going to make $10 million a year for the first 2 years, 11, and then 12. It's a $54 million deal over the next 5 years.
Wow.
At CU. But you know what? They wouldn't pay it if it wasn't a profitable business for them to be in. I think he has helped them sell more CU T-shirts in the last 24 months than they probably sold in the last 2 decades.
Like you said, Buffs, not Rams, they would say, but for you say Rams, not Buffs, and we got State, not Southern here. In a minute, I'll talk with David. Tell me real quick about baseball before we go. About the Dodgers.
Opening day, well, they got their rings yesterday, and they've never had this. You can open it up like a little jewelry box, and there's more stuff on the inside of it. They have additional diamonds.
Oh,
they've got They've got the players' autographs as if they would need that. They spend a small fortune to do this. You can almost build a little town inside the size of these rings. And,
are they the best team money could buy?
It's hard to argue that they're not. Let's see if they win it this year, then you can start talking. Because remember, they lose to the Astros, they lose to the Red Sox, then they beat Tampa in that COVID-shortened year, and then they win it last year. And if they do it again this year, they've got a chance to say that that this is. I'm not going to call them a dynasty, but what a great run they've had over the last decade.
I'm just glad you weren't offended by that because they've got the money to spend and they're doing it well.
Well, you know what? Everybody else could spend the same amount of money if they want to. They just choose not to. That's the way I look at it, Mike. Brett Butler told me many years ago, he goes, you know what? Nobody's holding a gun to the head of these owners asking them to spend all this money on the players. They're doing it, and some teams decide to do it. But you know what? I pay $8 for a Dodger dog more than what you do at Truist Field. But they're spending, would you spend $1 to earn $2?
Right.
Kansas City's not going to do it, and Pittsburgh is not going to do it. Cleveland did for a while, but now they've stopped. But everyone's trying to compete.
KC's building a new stadium, though, Harper. They're trying to get, like everybody else, downtown.
Well, yeah, that stadium, which is absolutely gorgeous,
yes.
But it's in a spot that may be a little bit harder for some people to reach. Why not have one like what San Diego did? They built one literally right downtown, and the left field foul pole is the corner of a building that they didn't want to tear down. So make the most of your topography and the geography that you have, and see if that makes a big difference. People still love baseball, but do you want to spend $50 for a ticket, or would you rather spend $22.50 and be able to be in the bleachers? It's a tough call.
Well, for those like me who can't afford it, that's why radio is so important when it comes to broadcasting games. With that, we've got college baseball this afternoon. Hey, State, not Southern Day.
Yes, it is, and I'm sure Dave will have one. There's one repeating joke. Ask him what it's like in State. What's the best part of Statesboro, and he'll tell you each and every time. I love it.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate it much. We'll talk later, okay?
Have a great day, Mike.
You too, man. Be blessed. We got much more for you. We'll talk with Dave Cohen, wrapping things up because we got State and Southern coming up this afternoon here on 97.5 Glory FM.
Here I am on the road again, ready to pick up the kids from school, go by the grocery store, and do all the things a busy mother does. It's because I just left North Hall Tire and Wheel, where they made sure I was ready to go. They put on a fresh set of tires, checked the brakes, and even the battery. I know I can trust Mike and Matt and the guys at North Hall Tire and Wheel. They have everything you need, all the name brand tires at the best prices, and the service you need. They're on Cleveland Highway in Gainesville, so give them a call at 770-297-5308.
This is Representative Lee Hawkins, your representative to the state legislature. I want to wish all the local athletes in our area the very best this season. Your team is very important to the success of our community, and I look forward to seeing you play this year and to see what you accomplish in the classrooms and in the community. I also look forward to serving you and your family in the state legislature. This message paid for by the committee to re-elect Lee Hawkins.
We're going to wrap things up here on the Saturday Morning Sports Show. We're going to preview today's ball game at 2 o'clock. It is State, not Southern. Live from Panthersville, at least getting there soon, is Dave Cohen, the voice of Georgia State. Hey, David.
Can tell you.
There we go, Dave. Go ahead.
20-0, the final score. Georgia Southern takes game one over Georgia State and pounded out, what do they pound out? 20 runs, 18 hits, didn't commit any errors. Georgia State, nothing going offensively, no runs on 5 hits, committed 1 error. So with impending weather coming in, it looks like it's going to be a doubleheader today starting at 2.
All right, and not any games, right?
As far as I know, unless they do 9 in the first one, 7 in the second, I don't know until I get out there.
All right, I can at least tell you this much. I'll be with you starting today at 2 o'clock. You'll hear the action. Our first baseball game of the spring with Georgia State, and State, not Southern. They will have it today at 2 p.m. Won't talk to you, but I appreciate it much. Let's get a win.
All right, Mike, looking forward to it.
All right, got to say, got to get a win today with State and over Southern this afternoon. Rebound for that loss last night. We got much more for you coming up next here on 97.5 Glory FM.
Glory.